I basically ended it.
What do you mean you broke up with me? You don't talk. This part, this statement from Zion was the trigger. I don't know whether I would say it was Chinwe's trigger. This was what made her to start talking about the whole story of how the things ended. She started from the Genesis to the Revelation, revealing things. She literally, in fact, it was literally like a story time. She was like, okay, this happened, details, like literal details about how much she spent here and there, things we do not even need to know. She went deep into all those things. I say, hey, Zion, yeah, I've looked for trouble, but we're going to get into that. And then, in fact, tonight's reunion was basically a Chinwe and Zion show, and then a little bit of DJ Flow there, and then, you know, just an introduction basically. But we're going to get into that. Before we get into that, I just want to say that, you guys, it feels like it has been ages since I made a video last. I was even contemplating on whether to make this video or not. I was like, how would I just come out of nowhere and start talking about the reunion? Up until this evening, I was still trying to make up my mind on whether to cover it or not, because I was like up and about. I say, let me just use this opportunity to tell you guys like a few things that have been going on, and then also just, you know, since the reunion is a continuation of the show, we obviously have to talk about it. We covered the show, so we, you know, kind of have to talk about it. But it's just going to be a smooth ride throughout this reunion, this thing. We'll just come and just about things. I'm not going to be showing you guys plenty clips. I'm not ready for multi-choice problem. So let me just put that out there. But a lot has been going on in my life. I feel like I've had more drama than maybe whatever the reunion gave us tonight. Not drama, no, not drama. I've had a lot going on, not drama per se. First of all, I got married in April. I posted about it in my community tab. I'm sure some people have already seen it. I did my traditional Ibanku in April. And I was like, maybe the first video I'm going to post on my page is going to be that. I'll just have like, you know, how a video of everything, how everything happened. But lo and behold, the videographer, have you experienced where the person you hired to make a video of your occasion did absolute, I don't know what to call it, but the video was not just it. And I've not been able to remedy it. I've just been tired. I was like, let me just leave that one out of the way. Maybe when I'm able to like get everything together, I'll post, you know. But that's why I've not posted that. And then what else? I started a thrift business just recently. I just started a thrift business. I sell thrift dresses, and you know, I'm just doing a lot of things on the side. We're here to talk about the reunion, so let us get into it. So they started off with DJ Flow. Welcome back to my channel. Can you imagine? I didn't welcome you guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, drop your comments, and all the good stuff. Yeah. So they started off with DJ Flow. They asked her about her situation with Ruthie. Do you know? Is as I was watching this next show that I was just remembering like all of them. I was like, Ruthie, DJ Flow. It took me some time to even remember like some of their names. So I was like, so DJ Flow was just explaining what happened between herself and Ruthie, and she said, like, in fact, I'm just going to say that reunion, I've been a big brother, ended a 10-year-old friendship. So apparently Ruthie felt like DJ Flow wasn't having her back in the house, and then DJ Flow is like, what do you mean I'm not having your back? You've known me for this long. I'm not like a confrontational person. I don't start up fights or pick up fights with people outside of the house. So how are you expecting me to now come inside the house and now act differently, or, you know, start picking up fights with people on your behalf and all of that? So that was her own defense, and I'm sure DJ Flow felt like, sis, you're the one that went and picked up fights that made us literally leave the house, because, you know, the first few evictions was basically based on what the housemates wanted. So it was on you, kind of thing, you get. Then before I move on to Chinwe and Zion's situation, what's up, Frosh, Mayor Frosh? That's Mayor Frosh and Suj. What's up with the winter jackets? Is the weather in Nigeria different in that place? Maybe it's a different weather from what we are experiencing here, because at some point he was literally, my approach was literally like, you know, trying to get some air because heat won't finish am for there. I say, okay, oh, maybe everything at the fashion these days, but it's fine. Moving on to Zion and Chinwe's situation. So Ebuka asked Zion what's up, what happened, and Zion was like, nothing really happened. It's just, at first he wanted to just be like, oh, we grew apart, but you know that Ebuka will not let things slide and everything. So he wanted to know more, and then he now asked who broke up, and then Zion said he broke up, and Chinwe now relaxed and decided to start giving gist. So the first part of our gist, let me give you guys the gist. I'm not going to go into so much details, but just know that, in fact, I'm going to go into some details, but like obviously not how she said it. But it had a lot to do with how much he spent, you know, being around, and him maybe not reciprocating or not being there for her as much. So she said his birthday was coming up, and she was in Lagos like a month or so to his birthday, and she had to pay for her accommodation. I don't know what's making that noise. She had to pay for her accommodation. She said over 100K a night, every night, and they stayed together, right? At some point Zion was like, he has a place, he has a house in Lagos. She was like, your sister's house? Yes, I know. And I was like, hey, I have a house, you know, that kind of thing. She was like, there's no way she was going to stay in his sister's house. So I'm guessing she rented a place, maybe a short let for the duration, and they stayed together, right? So she stayed for like a month leading up to his birthday, and then there was a night she said he went out, he did not come back, and then also it now happened like a day to when she was going to leave, or she was supposed to leave Lagos, and she wanted to spend some time with him. Now the thing is, this is part where I'm like, she gives some details that are not necessarily meant to be given, right? So she said he went out with his friends and everything, and he didn't come back because she told him that, you know, you have to come back, let's spend some time. She just wanted to spend some time with her love, you know, her man, before she goes back, right? And after he went clubbing, he invited her for the clubbing thing, right? In fact, I'm even jumping one very serious detail. She said there was an occasion, like a clubbing situation, that they invited him for. They invited him out. Hey! They invited him for the, you know, clubbing thing. And I used to feel like all these invites, they usually pay for it. Like when they have like guest attendance, you know, attendees. You have guests there, or you have like celebrity showing up and all of that. I used to think that they'll pay for everything, or maybe they will give you a bottle of drink, or I don't know. But she said they invited him for it, like they hosted him. They invited him or they hosted him. Maybe if they host you, that they'll pay. In fact, the Shah invited him, and he went. And at the end of the day, after everything, she said she had to foot the bills. He had to put it on her to foot the bills, and the agreement was that he was going to pay back. He ended up paying back just 150K. I don't know how much the total was, but I know clubbing is obviously not cheap, especially in Lagos and some other states. So that's one detail she gave. So this time around, the detail she gave that I feel she was not supposed to give was, okay, he went out, he didn't come back again. According to her, she said that he couldn't get a ride back home, right? But the way she said it, she was like, he was trying to book an in-drive, he couldn't get, but his friends that drove, she was in VI, and they drove past VI to Ikate, because in Lagos, it's after you pass VI to get to Ikate. She said his friends were staying in Ikate, and this is somebody that, obviously, your friends drove, they were supposed to come out, they could have dropped you, like, before getting to their, you know, destination. So she was like, he said the excuse he gave was that he couldn't get an e-drive. So it was almost hinting to the idea of, oh, he, you know what you're trying to give. You're trying to give an info, like, okay, he doesn't have a car, but you're not putting it directly. You're just like, he's trying to book. His friends had their own, they drove, tried to book this, but he countered it, saying that they booked Prado. They like booked like two cars that they were going to use for the night. So what she's saying is false. and that after the clubbing and everything, he went to his friend's place first because he wanted to spend some time with them since they were coming from Abuja, and then he slept off. That was his own part of the story. But her own part of the story included that he could not get an in-drive in the night and everything. You know, just those small details. So it was basically, I've spent so much money on this guy. And then there was another part where she included that he came after that whole situation. She said she blocked him because the next day she was traveling, and he came back the next morning. So by the time he came back, she was already ready to leave. She now left, and then she had to block him everywhere. You know, she wasn't having it. She broke down in tears in the car. She was emotional and all of that. She included all the parts where she has her she on her own, you know, really felt bad about him, the way he acted and everything. I want to say she loved him. She still even call him baby. In fact, when she was giving all this gist there, in there, her mouth was just wide open. She was like shocked and surprised by everything that was coming out of Chinwe's mouth. And also, they said that Kellyrae was also involved in their situation. In fact, in their situation, he was like the peace relationship therapist, if I may say. So when they got back together, in fact, I'm not even jumping. So after she left and blocked him and everything, later on, I think after a month or so, she was like, oh, let them try to resolve things. They now came back together. Kellyrae, you know, gave them advice and everything. So at this point, it was now shaky. You know, they came back together, it was still shaky. She said he was always ghosting her. Maybe after some time he would ghost her, and then he would come back and then he would ghost her. So this time around, he came back and, you know, to resolve things. And then the next thing, he was asking her for 300k. How much was the money? Okay, she was very specific. He was asking her for money, 300k or so, and she didn't have at that time because, according to her, she said her sister in Canada, she had to pay for accommodation or so. Shisha couldn't give him the money, and then I think she late another time again came for money. She gave him, and he was saying he was trying to deny that. That's when she now went to show Ibuka evidence, and then Chinwe now revealed that he even spent the night in her hotel room. The night before the shooting of the reunion and everything, he spent it with her. I say, oh, these people, it's like they're not ready. Their whole gist all came down to the fact that break up. Chinwe had to give us all the details, and that's the same thing she did in the house when she was telling everybody about how she sponsored his coming to be brother, how much she spent. You know, she was always, anytime they had an issue, she was always like putting that out there. She said his siblings don't like her. That's basically how things went down at the reunion tonight. Nothing serious. Meanwhile, I'm going to link my Thrift page in the description box so that you guys will patronize me. I'm just starting small business owner. You know, affordable gowns. Just show me some love, please. I have really nice things, you get. So I'm going to put my page is on TikTok. Maybe I'll post some of the items here. Don't buy. I don't know, maybe I'll start up some other businesses, but I'm just like trying to push, you know this. Let me not go deep into it. Thanks guys for watching, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I am going to see you guys on the next one. Bye, love you.